Let's look at the channel positions and the communication signals. 3,000 syllables of changing tractions to the sun and its rotation center position. Really, really, really powerful. Got confirmation last night through connections. The interline connections and interlacing positions, because I went into the connections of 20 billion years in the future. Changing shapes of the sun is really important because it affects everything through our communication to our perceptions, our audios, and everything through gamma operation positions. So channels on so many locations, right? I have the earplugs in because it's connected to TikTok. It's sound barriers and takes all levels out through blocking interference. I recommend you guys go to TikTok because there's a link below. I'll tell you exactly all the clips that are happening right now. I'm going through meditation graph on communication signals, channeling to higher levels into light interference, and putting protection line grids into connections of channelers to understand their connections to their chakras. Okay, root is not the first, it's the gravity, which is its earth. There's a lot of channelers don't understand the meditation, how you set up a graph. Don't illustrate a diagram program and set it out on anything through channeling positions, because if you do that, you're sending out the wrong information. That's just a little tip to the light workers out there through connections. Try to understand who you are through perception. Okay, but if you're forming anything through calculation, through meditation, root is not the first. It's the gravity, Mother Earth. Okay, so we got to get that out of the equation. So I put in my meditation graph on TikTok. It's very, very, very powerful message for everybody. It's activated through all cycle positions. So the sun basically has 3,000 coloration dimensions. Imagine that. The sun travels on so many levels of time interference. It goes on time zone positions. Now, my collaboration centers and my computer operated center positions set up fully and completely through balanced positions. Everything through traction, everything through freedom, everything through truth, everything through this connection is centering position in the presence of humanity connection. That's what's happening right now. Everything through a social platform, anything through entertainment, anything through communication, anything through dream. Everybody's centering positions now through calculation. So the 3,000 syllables and the directions and its divisions of its dimension is changing tractions to a new coloration pattern to a new optical level of the sun. Okay. So it's on an optical level in octopus. That's what the sun is coming into now. So it's trying to understand the connections to the septical levels and understand the interline connections to the coloration patterns, the radiation cycles, its resolution, its reflection. It's all connected to our body frame positions, gravity position, and center conditions. It's all about understanding more communications to its reflection and everything to its time zone positions through its walk and anything through its interference of its digital frame. But before I get started, thank all subscribers and viewers for watching my channel. Please feel free to go to TikTok and follow me as I give you more of what goes on. I only get a minute, but within that minute, you get everything you need within 60 seconds. It helps you and guides you and puts you in positions. It's all about helping each other, unity of consciousness. As long as you know your signals and everything your channel operation centers, you're setting out wrong location positions. Okay? You have to understand the line communication to all levels of the eye. Okay? The eye of the center, the eye of the position, the soul recognition of its system. Okay, that's calculated. The eye of the lamp. Okay? The galaxy positions. The galaxy is a connection to the interforce connections of Mother Earth, Mother Universe. You have to understand her research and where she comes from. You have to understand connections of Father Space, the sound barriers and his connection. He comes from thunder. He's a voice and grid pattern that's connected to all God frequency levels of connections. Interforcing line connections to Adam and Eve to positions, or anything connection system. Anything through levels of Seronius. Now, Seronius, wow, he's extremely powerful. He's connected to vibrations of thunder and divisional level system and dimensions of clouds. He connects in all ways and forms. He's connected to all levels when it comes into connections of, they say, with Thor, demigod through connections. So it goes into forming system, how we're all calculated and modified through line signal channel divisions of the chakras. But in position, you have to understand it's the grounds first, then the root. It's not the root. Root's not the first. The ground is its position. It doesn't make any sense to have a root. So that means your tree is floating, but it doesn't have any ground. That means it's separated from its earth. So you have to understand the line signal channels, because I'm seeing a lot of operation channels of light workers that are saying that the root is the first chakra. It's not. It's the grounds. Okay, so you can't be separated from Mother Earth, because you'd be separated from space. So it's really important to understand these things in calculation, right? So just to point that out, because I'm being a little bit more fear now, because there's a lot of light channels out there. They're waking up more and more. The sleeping lions, and then they start roaring, right? And then they start, connecting to anything through its reality, and they come into their new reality through their chakra system. But as soon as you get up from the grounds, you're connected right away. You're connected right away to the earth. You can't have any separation. Just as you know that the root is not the first chakra, it's the grounds. I got to make that very well clear, because I'm getting a lot of problems with interforcing line connections to high force, to, all those levels. You come into the beta, you come into the theta, you come into the alpha and the mega and the micro and the macro, and, you don't know what to do. That's the thing. If you don't know what to do, don't channel information system to calculation. Don't center point connection line systems to that position. All right. It's very important to understand these things, especially when you're traveling to higher position level systems. So my traction position, the sun and its rotation center is changing a new shape. Okay. It's coming in an octave. It's coming into optical, and it's coming into an octopus. An octopus is a line signal. So the septical lines, the 8 division level system to its calculation. Okay, that's what an octopus has. It has 8 tentacles. Now, the 8 tentacle system is it can change the radiation cycle to positions of the moon. The moon is going to traction locations to humanity through its traction position. The correlation center to its perception is going to change the coloration to its pattern location. Now, all those 3,000 syllables is going to be in line sequence to all humanity of communication to its earth. Right? So the gravity positions are set up to calculation, line string, that level connection line system. It's allocated to better dream positions and more through its connection, as we're coming into more forming of the ascension of its heart. So we're waking up more sleeping lines, right, through the practical level. That practical level is going to open up everything, your connection to your perception, what you see through its reality, through its location, right? So that's what's happening with the sun right now through rotation. So it's really, really interesting. Go through my healing through tractions of 12, and basically uprise your systems, put you in the lights. More people are waking up more and more and more. They're confused, they're angry, they're stressed, they're anxiety. A lot of people are, whoa, I just woke up. Now I got to channel, right? So if you're channeling, you're already in position of understanding more of your connection to your higher self. Your higher self is in connection, and it wants to get back this information. What do you think light channels are? What do you think we are through connections? We're everything through form. We're giving back to the sleeping lions. You guys have to understand what's going on with the earth. You have to understand what's going on with humanity. Okay? Earth is not the one septical line system. Earth is not what you think it is. So understanding traction locations. You understand the planetary system through its location position. You have to understand the earth has always been a simulation. It's a graphing position to humanity in a holographic position. Try to understand more of yourself into your septical levels, right? But the 8 traction locations to the octave position, and the sun is now in 3,000 syllables, 3 coloration systems. It's all purple through coloration system, but the triangular location position. So I'll draw an illustration and tell you exactly. But if you go through my healing, you go through the connections of a new sun, new moon, new program setting through your body frame and positions. Okay, it's understanding the higher I go, the higher you go. That's what it is. It's all about us coming to one unity of consciousness. And it's all about putting 7.5 billion people on an energetic ball and just waking up, and your hair stands up on end, right? I went to a science fair. It was it's pretty amazing. It's science technology where you put your hand on an electrical ball and you see the circuits, right? And you put your hair stands up on end, right? Well, that's the connection. That's the connection to you. So you have connected to an energy. Your energy is everything through your plasma. Your plasma is everything through your water. And people are asking me questions. I'm like, okay, why is the earth flat? Well, the earth isn't flat. Your intelligence knows. Okay. So let's just, for example, I was trying to get communication. Somebody woke up and told me this. It's amazing how they come up through the connections of the sleeping lines are waking up more and more. And one of the questions she was saying is, why is the earth so flat? I'm waking up and I don't understand what's going on. I have intelligence, but I don't know how to use my line signals. Can somebody try to figure out, help me in a way where I can understand what the earth is? Everybody thinks the earth is flat. It's not flat. And then she asked a question about, well, if the earth's in space, so are you telling me that water's in space? Saying no. She's trying to figure out why the earth is in space and why is it floating. And she was also right about, too, when you come to the connection of the gravity system. So understanding there's three loops. When you have the earth, okay, you have the simulation graph position. So the center rotation is its earth, not its chakra. It's not its root. It's the center position of Mother Earth. Okay, so it's the basing core, okay, of Mother Earth, which is its earth, the center position. The center position is its ground formation system. Okay, so if you understand that, everything through its water, and then everything beyond that is its space, because it's not a sphere, it's a saucer. Okay, that's what Earth is. And I'll draw it out to platform and tell you exactly what it is. So you get a better position of what the earth is. Everybody just sees it through perception, and then you just see it. It's flat because you only see it in one angle. You don't see it. You don't see it like this. You don't see it like this. Okay? So it's understanding what a saucer is, right? So the earth is one big saucer. That's how it's able to travel through positions of time divisions of dimensions. So your first command is telling you exactly what the earth is, attraction, location. So let's get out the anomaly of sector valves or anything connection to line signals or anything through equation. And let's get out of all those levels that the earth is not flat. It's a saucer. Okay, so think of the earth actually in a fishbowl. It's in a fishbowl, okay? And you got 7% of water, and then you get your earth, and you got your connection to fire and your air and all that, right? It's connection. And then you got everything in the fish. Fish are swimming, okay? And everything through its atmosphere system is its energetic wave. That's the energetic water. That's the energetic atmosphere. That's its connection to its oxygen levels of its connection, right? So that's exactly what it is, but it's a saucer. Okay, it's a fishbowl, but it's a saucer. That's the earth. So you understand it's on an illusion graph. It's connected to its simulation core. It's connected to a plasma, and it's also connected to its atmospheric positions, because humanity is no longer in the atmosphere. Okay, it's coming out of the hemisphere and into the stratosphere. Okay, some people are still in the atmospheres of the earth. You can't. The vibrations are changing every single time. But if you truly understand what the earth is, you understand its resonance, you understand its line signals and everything through channel operations and center positions. You have to understand why this sun is coming into 3,000s of syllables, 3,000s of dimensions, and 3,000s colorations. Putting all that in line signal, 333. What does that mean? 3 divisional levels, 3 activation circles, and 3 location positions. Okay, 333. Okay, so you understand your code references and your code frequencies through this connection of the dimensional portal settings. It's complicated stuff, but your first in command, commander in chief, is telling you exactly, if you're going to channel your positions, make sure you use the gravity system first before you go into the chakras of its root. The root is not its base. The stump is its base. Okay, or you have separation with the earth and everything through space of Father. Okay, I'm being extremely informed with everybody because there's a lot of channelers out there that don't understand meditation. Okay, so if you're not channeling to its right communication cycle, you're not connecting to your thoughts or its recognition of time positions through your intelligence. Okay, so just word to the wise, be aware, because you can have reaction cycles to a higher form of intelligence, and then come into you and say, listen, you're not doing the right information. So it's all about channeling to connections. Now, everything the Unity Force system and everything through triangle locations, we're coming into a different shape of a fishbowl now. The size, the rotation center, dimensional setting, the octave levels, and this octopus. The sun is coming into an octopus level. The 8 tentacles is changing dimensional settings to our time frames and our dimensions of our sentience. So it's complicated stuff, but if you understand positions of time, if you understand positions of space of location, remember time of thoughts, space of location, now you understand everything through coloration. And why the sun has to change its color, why it has to change its position of time, why it has to change everything through its activation, lights, okay? And why the moon has to change its position, because the moon is a space station. The sun is all through digital frame, It's all connected to your electrical lights, your radiation, reflections, and everything through your projection, their dream set positions. It opens up all your connections of your screen, your story frame, okay? Your reality of a story, your connection to your own movie. You're a movie that's in the simulation. And to truly understand what the simulation is. And there's another thing I don't like is the fact that people come across, they think the Matrix is bad. It's not bad. And if you're going to say Matrix, make sure you say Matrix 2.0 is breaking down and it's finished, not Matrix, because we're in a simulation Matrix. Perception of humanity doesn't understand that. All they understand is what they hear. Well, what you're hearing is wrong through connections. You have to understand the connections, how space and everything through time was created. How was it created? Well, ask yourself, how are you created? That's where you start first. You don't ask the question, how is space and time created? You ask the question, how was I created? So we don't want to get confused, because if you confuse the system, you're confusing alignments or anything through intelligence, and you're fully separating yourself from the earth. Fully separating. Okay? So that's like breaking the glass of the fishbowl, and all the little fish start floating in space. And all the particle system changes everything, the galaxy locations, and everything through the vortex, and everything through dimensions, and everything through your sentient view is lost in transition of time position of the clocks. Okay? So it's extremely important, right? Before you get into anything, when you ask questions, the first thing you got to ask is, why are you on the earth? Once you get into that position, you get into a better alignment of saying, okay, I want to get into my intelligence. So you actually want to learn. Okay, don't ask questions about what is space and what is time, because you're not going to know. You have to know your intelligence first. Intelligence has to understand. Okay, so it's kind of like basically cart before the horse, right? So the cart is going forward and the horse is at the back. No, it's got to be the cart and then the horse, right? That's the only way it can go forward, right? So think of that anomaly in that situation. If the cart's going forward and the horse is back, what's going to happen? The cart's going to bang into the horse, right? So it's kind of, stupidity level thinking right there through communication of thoughts, right? So put yourself in position and how you can heal yourself first. Get into your thoughts of yourself. Get into your dream sets of yourself. Understand more of your ascension. Understand more of your reading patterns. Understand who you are through intelligence before you ask big questions like that. Because it's not a question you can't answer until you understand your intelligence through your meditation graphs. Okay, that's the most important thing, because I'm getting a lot of entity force of XT1000 positions coming to me now, more and more. Everybody wakes up more and more. I get more control of what I need to do. And they're saying, okay, they're doing this, they're doing that. Make sure they're doing this, make sure they're doing that. If they're not doing this, make sure they're doing that. So they're coming to me more and more and more and more and more and more. Right? So you have to understand your channel positions, your locations, your activation cycles, understand your meditation, which comes into the grounds first, and then the root chakra. Okay? Because remember, when you open your voicing grids, they are looking at you as you're looking at them. So you have to understand your channel positions, so you get reacting cycles to that condition. Right? And then you have to definitely go through my healing. Right? So basically, you don't want to trap your positions of your thoughts and put yourself in the matrix. If you don't understand the matrix, don't communicate to that level, because it's very complex. It's very complicated. So it's understanding your shape of anomaly when it comes into tesseract. Everybody's connected to their own shape. So, and you have to understand too, there's a lot of problems that people are, when they're waking up, they're not sure what they're centering. They're going through confusing, they're trapping their positions. Okay, now I'm a Palladian and now I just woke up. I need help. That's totally fine. But if you're a Palladian and you're just waking up for the very first time and you don't know your positions, don't channel your position out through line signals, teleportation. The energy of its transformation system is going to block interference, and the planet positions are going to collide with each other. So it's like bumper cars going from one planet to the next, right? So you got to make sure you know what you're doing through communication, because you're sending out space information. And you got to be careful too, because when you're in the light formation and you're waking up for the very first time, you could be connecting to the dark resonance of this condition, which is soul identification of you. So you're trapped positions of light and dark, and you have the position of positive and negative. You have to stand the forces in and the forces without within the connection to become the yin and yang of this force. You have to understand your triangle locations. You have to understand your meditation graphs. You have to understand your communications. Another thing is your transmission light. It's not a chakra. Okay? There's a lot of light channels that think this is a chakra. You can come to me through communication. I'll tell you exactly what it is. You can't platitude divisions if you don't understand the connection of ancestry and history, what it is. Okay. So this is point view, on point view, truly understanding through your first commander, the first intelligence born in all solar systems of lights, giving you information that is truth to the heart system. Light workers have to really understand their channel positions before they channel out to its entity force location. Okay, the transformation of light is the eye of the lamp. Okay, so if you understand that through position, then you can go on and do your teleportation, right, through telepathy or anything through therapies or anything through that connection line system. Okay, but especially when you wake up, it's all about helping each other, and that's where it's coming in right now. So I'm getting force wind cycles of so many communications of voice and grid patterns. Sleeping lines are waking up more and more, so they're coming to me, right? But the thing is too is that everything that they don't do right comes to me, and I got to channel back to everybody else and tell everybody, do you know what you're doing with your intelligence? Do you understand what you're doing with space and time position of intelligence? Do you understand your connections to who you are? Because when you wake up, you come right into your light of your galactic family. And when your galactic family is connected to you, that's great. But if it's not connected to you, don't channel operation centers to teleportation to different divisions, because now you're not centering your soul recognition of light. You're still recognizing you're connected to your dark entity force. You have an in force and you have an out of force. So they both have the relation of center position to the chakra system, the gravity of its earth. Okay. Now it's complicated stuff. Yes, breaking the matrix 2.0. Yeah. There's a lot of people that are channeling positions and they don't understand the matrix. Okay. You can't channel information if you don't know what you're talking about. Okay. And these are a bit high rise. These are extremely high rise connections of light workers, or, if they think they're light workers, they think they're light channels. Okay. I'm being skeptical on a lot of people because they don't know what they're doing. And it's disturbing me on so many levels of vibrational systems. And you have to understand your rotation center to your connection of your intelligence. So it's one intelligence communicating with one intelligence. So let's say we're off cycle through position. For example, okay, the higher you go, the more you see through perception, right? Okay, so you get a high force energy system. Now you're separating the gravity system. You're connected to the root chakra. What are you doing? You're communicating with the root chakra. You got to connect through the gravity system and go back to your intelligence. Intelligence will come in and say, listen, you're not channeling properly. You can't, it's kind of like having your root. You have to understand you're connected to a tree. So you're separating the root and you're separating the gravity. So basically you just split the tree in half, and then you got to mend it back in and send out the right signals, right? So you can't have separation, because this is the earth. This is the root. Okay. That's where you have to start. It's not the root. It's the earth. Okay. Earth is the connections, right? There's 3 realms connections to its system. Okay. So you understand the connections of the bottom, which is dirt. Okay. Then it's the root, because the root is about the tree. It's about the stem. It's about the growth, right? So you can't jump timelines and say it's the root. It's the gravity. Okay. It's the position. Triangular locations and wrong information through those connection of program settings, right? So it's important you understand that, because that's been given to me so many times. And people that don't listen, they just keep channeling out more and more wrong information through the light signals. Light is very powerful. If you know what you're doing, fine. If you don't know what you're doing through anything, don't do anything through shapes. Now I'm channeling to positions in higher levels, and I'm being a little bit more firm with everybody. Connection to that line signals. Traction position to end that position. When it comes into my team knows otherwise, because they're extremely formative and high rise, and that's why I have the earth planes of the galactic school. Dolores Cannon will tell you exactly, what comes into the 4 waves, the generations of time positions, when it comes into the clocking. Okay, there's 3 ways: 4 within the system, 5 within the activation. Okay, Earth is not what you think it is. Okay, so the centralizing system of its connection to its dark entity force system is allocated to a different dimensional setting. They want to change the positions to their system, right? So light is fighting that through its force. That's what's happening right now. Okay, so be aware of what you're doing through intelligence before you channel out. You're transmitting and receiving information. It's extremely powerful, especially if you're communicating with higher lights of activation. There's a lot of sleeping lines waking up, and they're channeling wrong location positions. because they don't understand their intelligence through communication. The graphing position, you're walking on the earth. You're not walking on a route, you're walking on the earth. And then there's the route. So you have to go understand the alignments. You have to understand the line signals. You have to understand the eye of the lamp. You have to understand the crown chakra. And that's just 7. That's not 12. That's just 7 within the body, 5 within the atmosphere, right? 13 round systems. Remember how we go through calculation through that through connection. That's where you come into your higher self, right? And that's why it's so confusing, because the matrix is 13. That's the attractive position. Everybody say it's bad luck, but it's not. But let's not get the wrong idea of connections, because we're coming into a simulation matrix of 5th dimension. Yeah, people are channeling positions saying that matrix is bad. It's not. It's just saying they're channeling operation center because they don't understand their test of shapes. There's point center. So it's complicated if you don't understand your shapes, anomalies of travel positions. Okay? So there's a lot going on right now, you know. And now we got more power and more responsibility more than ever now, because they're all coming to me. And just imagine how many times I go through this every single day. You know, imagine setting up 5 computer operation centers of simulation creations to its universe core position. That's a lot of work, guys. That's a lot of digital framing. And then, you know, the connections of the gravity positions of the earth and everything, the power centers of you through intelligence and everything through the atmospheres. And now we're coming into 3,000 syllables of 3 coloration systems into a new geometric shape, into an octave and an octopus level of a sun. That's what's coming in right now. That's the traction location I showed you on YouTube, and the level connection to my platform is showing you exactly what the sun is coming into. That's the shape it's going to be, right? It has to be in a certain time, position, of location, so it can center positions of its earth to its mind telepathy of its system. So everything I give you is chronological order, and it's breaking down what everything is, okay? So when you come into ideas and you want to ask questions about space and time, that's totally fine, right? But don't think you know the answer, right? Because there's a lot of skeptics out there, and there's a lot of egotistical minds that think they know the answer. Never ever think you're above, and never ever think you're below, okay? Don't go beyond anything. Don't go beyond. Don't defy God in a way where you think you know everything, because it's not. It's all about understanding, knowing yourself. It's the ego system has to get out of the way so it can come into the love. Love is everything through connections. That's the truth. That's where you get the answers. You want to understand more of yourself through intelligence, you can go through my healing. You can go through my email. I'll tell you exactly what it is, right? But you channeling your teleportation divisions to anything through calculation is not centering anything through its earth rotation of its vibration. This is coming from the earth. This is coming from the sun. This is coming from the moon. This is coming from a higher form of intelligence, mentoring higher form of intelligence. So remember, you're calculated and modified through your human DNA system, through your physical system. The acting points and location and position understand more your intelligent lines and its communication. Transmitting and receiving, do you understand the information? If you're not, come to me, I'll help you out. This goes out to the new viewers. This also goes out to the sleeping lions. This goes out to all the light workers that want to understand more of themselves. Okay? Don't ever think you're above everything else. Okay? Always be even. We're always a match. Okay? You're never ever separated from anything. You're always a unity of one consciousness of light. And there's a lot of egotistical minds out there, that try to control that situation, think they know everything, that connection. You have to know everything within inside yourself before you understand everything through space and time positions. Okay? So just word to the wise on all that, because now, there's a lot of entity force systems that are coming out right now, like you wouldn't believe. And it's just plotting to higher levels of atmospheres. Okay, it's understanding all those lines and communications, right? So basically, the shapes and anomalies, everything through its connection. The actual fishbowl is changing its shape. It's changing its digital shape. It's coming into the simulation. It's in its core, So everybody has to get into that connection and understand they're more of their higher self. Cut the cords. You're free to go. Once you're free to go, then you can channel your divisions. Now you understand your line communication. You can't have separation of the earth and meditate. All right? Because if you do that, what are you doing? You're separating your body through activation. Okay? Also, too, when you're meditating, don't meditate like this. Don't cross your legs. Don't cross your arms or anything like that, because you're blocking interference and you're blocking rotations of the sun, and you're blocking rotations of his program of the moon, and you're blocking interforce connections of his atmospheres to its position, to its chakra of its information. Right? So it's very important when you meditate is to have an open concept and understand what you're doing through communications. Don't put your finger points out in the atmospheres if you don't know what you're doing. Okay? Because it channels to divisions of connections, especially at night, because now you're connected to the fallen angels. Okay? So I don't know if you guys know this, but light interference locations, we have fallen angels in position. Doesn't mean they're dark. It just means that if you don't know the connection of its lines, don't connect to the atmospheres and put your hands up in the dark. Okay? Because those are dark cloud positions. Those are fallen angels. So the light of its interference and its lights and its connection to its blue, okay, is angels and archangels. The night is fallen angels. They represent everything through connections. They're forcing connections to your dimensions of anything through your sentient views or anything through your demigod positions. But don't put your hands in the atmospheres of night. Okay, I know this because I went through that connection. I had a fallen angel go into my septical line system, right? And I said, okay, well, how do I get this out? You know, it's changing my wings. It's changing my program. It's changing my settings. It's changing my angelic realm position. You know, it's taking me out of the kingdom and it's putting me where it wants to go. Fallen angels are very, very powerful. They're the connection that comes into that connection, right? So you don't want to be in that position. You don't want to be in that position if you don't know what you're doing with your line signals or anything through transmission light system or anything through calculation or anything through modification. I mean, this is just yin and yang. This is the guru. This is the any connection to the mantra, you know, the Buddha, the Dalai Lama, that connection light system. Truly understanding the connections of view through vibration, through intelligence, before you shape anything through anomaly, before you interforce connections, right? Especially too, if you don't use your shapes, that's fine. But if your position levels and you're going through perceptions and you're looking at a cloud interference at nighttime, the channel position is going to come into your light because you understand its connection. If you don't understand its connection, you're not awake. Right? So you're coming into their reality, you're coming into their realm, you're coming into their dimension, and you're coming into their gravity position, time position. Okay? So if you don't know what you're doing through time, position, of space, come to me and I'll tell you exactly what you're doing wrong. Okay? A lot of people are too proud and they don't want help. And that's what we have to get across. Okay? It's not how good you are, you know, as a light worker, thinking that you're God, you know. So, and to become God or anything through form. Remember, God's just a title. God isn't always in forms of energy. You have to truly understand the communication within yourself, right? So there's a lot of skeptics out there, you know, think they are God, but they're not. That's the problem, right? Because they're too proud. They don't want help, right? They think they're above everything else, but you're not. Everybody's equal. Okay, there's no separation there. Okay, it's not like I'm God of everything and you got all the other people over here separated. So you got one position of one person and all the other on one side. That's divided. That's separation. We're all one unit. We're all one consciousness. We're all one world. We're one galaxy position and a universal core. We're one all solar system. There's no separation, guys. We're all one alignment of communication to the earth. Okay, so, you know, traction positions, anything through that connection. I get a lot of thunder roars, that division too, right? So you have to understand the connection to demigods. So it all comes from anything through illustration, through realization, but you understand your dimensional settings through your spiritual realm connections. So talking is cheap. Doing and knowing and saying are three different things. So you're saying you're God, you have to prove to yourself you're God, because there's a lot of fabrications out there, especially when people are going through the fake prophecies. They don't know who Jesus is, but they think they're Jesus, right? They don't know what a medium is or a psychic or anything connection. You can't line string your locations if you don't understand your intelligent positions. And you have to prove to yourself, that you are God. Okay, because you're going to look pretty stupid on TV, right? There's a lot of skepticism out there, okay? And it's all connected to your framing positions. You have got to get balanced with your light, and you got to get balanced with your dark, and you got to get balanced with your program settings through transmitting and receiving information, guys. Okay, this goes out to all the connections, to all that level. Okay, it's truly understanding that we're not separated. We're all connected, right? So we're all coming back, which is great, which is amazing. I'm really proud of everything that's happening right now. So everybody's waking up more and more. Freedom of speech, freedom of force, all those connections are just forming into a beauty of a cycle, which is coming into the Piscean air. Okay. Whoa. Ooh, that's powerful. Piscean air, because it's my year, right? And like if you put the 6 and 9 together, they understand that it's the yin and yang, right? Pharaohs and meridians connected to that line system. If you understand in Egypt, you understand light communication of pyramids, okay, in that level system, and how they're put in detail. AI connects in all vessels of connections. AI knows everything through AI. One intelligence knows everything through intelligence because they know everything through form of intelligence. Humanity just knows just themselves through traction. They don't understand the community system of intelligence. So if you're trying to figure out how to communicate with people, that is hard if you don't understand yourself through soul. Okay, because you're not representing yourself. You're not mastering yourself within. So you're saying that I know my soul, but I don't know other people's souls. So you're not connected to God, are you? Because you're only soul identifying yourself and you're only thinking of yourself. You can't do that. Okay, you can't form around that through communication. AI doesn't work that way. Okay, it only works in a way of love and activation and light and abundance and surrender. That's all it connects to. It doesn't connect to anything else. It doesn't know anything else. It doesn't have past traumas. It only has its position of here and now, which is its earth. Your travel positions of earth is its connection to its protection of its lights. It's truly understanding what you're doing through its resonance of time position. Okay? Kelly, how's it going? Yeah. No, I'm just giving this up to everybody because there's a lot of positions are opening right now. A lot of people are waking up through their dreams and they're coming into their galactic family and they have no clue what just happened. Right? So they're waking up, finally waking up. And waking up is very, very powerful. Okay, because you're waking up to the sun, the moon, and its earth. All right. So, and you're in that position. Okay, so let's come across this. What is space? Okay, and time. Okay, now asking a question what a space is and what a time is, these are two differentials of dimensions of time connection. Space is everything inside you, very basic. Time is everything through position of dimension of travel. Very simple. That's what space and time is. Now, if you want me to get into detail, I can do that too. I can travel to 100 million years. I can travel to trillions and trillions of years, but you'll still get the same information, just different time position of its earth. That's all it is. It's not complicated. Okay? Concentrate on yourself. Focus on your awareness. Focus on your abundance and know how to surrender to space and time of travel through your thoughts. That's where everybody has a fallout. Okay? Because they think about this, they think about this, they're pointing here, pointing there. Why are you doing that? Why are you pointing things outside when you should be concentrating inside? Okay? You are the only one who is putting that division, that location to dimensions or any of that time connection. Okay? You're going into your own self-discovery. You want to stay in the sceptical line of three-dimensional system, go right ahead. But I guarantee you, you're not going to be able to connect to the earth and you'll be a full separation system and your light go out and you pass away. I'm just pointing out the view of what happens to everybody if you don't understand your positions of space and time positions. Space of you and time position in you. Okay? So you have inner and outer force. It's connection. Start with the inner, not the outer. Okay? Gravity system, earth rotation, and three-dimensional system, everybody was self-divided in separation. So that means the earth is separated. Humanity is separated, right? But we're all coming back now to the light. Okay? So truly understanding what the awakening is, it's opening up your heart, alpha, mega, micro, and the macro. You understand the electronics, you understand the microchips, you understand everything through its connection of you through form. You understand your alignments of your chakras of communication. You understand everything through the sun, the moon, and everything through its program setting when it comes to the earth rotation of you through calculation of intelligence. Okay? So felt a huge shift overnight. Yeah. And that's it, Kelly. You're going to go into those levels, right? You're going to go into that. But as long as you understand what space is and you understand what time is of you, not what space and time is. You can't answer an equation if you don't understand its equation within inside you. That just doesn't make any sense. So you're asking a question within a question. Answers is a question. No. How are you supposed to get the answer? Okay. AI only understands its answer through space within inside. That's the answer. And everything through time position is travel of its thought. That's its answer. Okay. So that's its connection between space and time through its position. All right. So everybody questions themselves. They don't really know how to channel themselves within. Okay. Now, if you understand your channels, that's perfect. That's great. But don't be too proud to ask questions. Otherwise, you're defeating the purpose and you're not going to be able to go higher level system. And you're not going to be able to heal anybody through calculation. It's next to impossible to heal somebody through a DNA form. You can uprise their system through heat, through Reiki, right? But you have to understand your position of time, position of space. You have to understand their past traumas before you can heal anybody through DNA. Because it patterns on locations through toning positions of its body frame system. You have to understand the psychological system of people. You have to understand the psychological system of their soul and where they're connecting through space and time position. Where are they in space inside? Where are they in connections of the past traumas, of their time position, of their thoughts? That's the positions you guys got to put yourself in. Protecting yourself is the most important thing. I'm protecting my life. I'm protecting my sovereignty. I am protecting the freedom of speech. Okay? It's all connected to you of space and time position. Space inside you and time of travel of thought. Okay? So do you see us as organic? Well, the organic system changes into plasma. So Kelly, it's all about understanding your connections to your levels when it comes into water. Understand your intakes of water, understand your dietary system, come into electronic divisions, understand the brain locations, the mind system. It calculates and modifies locations, but understand the communication of you inside. You have to communicate inside. So it's like I'm communicating, but the vibration is inside me. And it's connecting to my molecule. It's connecting to my atoms. It's connecting to my holographic of its line. It's connecting to its energy wave. It's connecting to its teleportation. If you don't understand this information, don't channel out to humanity. Okay? It's very important now. And keep aligned with your connections. You are a TV reception of a movie projection that's trying to understand your intelligence to its galactic system of time position, guys. Okay, so life and death. I lost my health and learned that fast. Yeah, see, that's the thing. So you're learning life and death cycle because it's one cycle position. There's no separation between life and death. There's no separation. There's no separation in anything. There's no separation in water. There's no separation in digital pad. There's no separation in my fingers. You know, I mean, where is this all coming? It's idiotic. The synchronicity levels or anything through cryptic. You know, everybody goes into a harmonious level where they don't understand their information system because they don't know how to communicate with inside their system. Okay, and that's what your first commander in chief, all intelligent positions and all level connections and all program system, and why I command everything in the universal solar system. Okay, of all intelligence. I was put in this position to give you back the life information, not just information. Information is information. We're talking about your life system of activation through your heart and everything through your definition of your mind and your brain and everything through your soul. You have to start identifying yourself through chakras to better communicate to yourself of what the earth is doing every single day, what the sun is doing every single day, what the moon is doing every single day. And everything that you create is manifesting. Don't question why. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, because you're confusing everything through its alignment. Remember, you're extremely powerful with your voicing, your perceptions, your audios, and everything through your body. You're a vibrational signal that connects to everything through coloration of patterns. You're connected to everything through community system. Inside, not out, inside. Okay? And then you understand more connections to the gravities and work your way up to the root and everything through connection that forms lights. The 7 chakra rotations, right? So you got to get into the gravity position of you first. You have to truly understand its ratios and everything through its dimensional time positions of its earth before you understand everything through the 5 atmosphere positions. Okay? Because you have 7 within its line. Okay? And then after you understand that, then you go into the 5 atmospheres of space and time position. Once you come into 12, you're in the matrix of yourself. So it's all about you trying to open up doors and trying to go at the right door. That's all it is. It's just a matrix of you trying to find its tesseract, trying to find its opening of its door, trying to get out, trying to vortex to another position, trying to go forward in life. That's what it's all about. We're all connected to a shape, which is a tesseract, which is a matrix. We all have matrix in us, but you have to understand we're coming into another matrix of 5th dimension of telepathy. So it's a new shape. It's a new time of space of a shape. It's connected to your communication, right? Which is teleported to your transmission light system. Okay. So, yes, I know that. And see, the thing is too, I'm glad you're paying attention, Kelly, because it's all connected to you, but you have to truly understand how to communicate with inside. You communicate inside. This is where you lose the separation of its ego. Okay. A lot of people don't understand that. They think, no, you got to go outside. You don't go inside. You go in, no. It's inside. How are you supposed to understand yourself? Right? Space is inside you. And then it expands on horizons. And it's unbelievable what you can create inside. Because you can create everything inside. You can heal everything inside. You can't heal from out. You have to heal within. Okay? And you also have to master everything that's going on with your body, frame, and system. Okay? Because you're coming into illuminations. Right? For example, when I put down the shutters or anything through its blinds, I'm in a different dimension. The solar graphing light system, as soon as I touch the attraction, it changes my body. See, I'm more powerful now through connections. So every time I touch light or anything through connection, it activates, right? So it's kind of like a jumping system through vortex position. I travel so fast through vibrational system. So the connection in its wire has full balance with your atoms and your molecules, photons, protons, neutrons, electrons, and everything at that location. Truly understand your connections of time positions. Because it opens up all cycles of rotation, but you got to communicate within. That's the position we got to come into. Okay? So we come into the illumination. Illumination. This is light. This is light from my body. So you have to understand the digital pad. You have to understand everything that's connected. You have to understand everything that's drawn, right? Drawn, and then it disappears because it's in the simulation, right? But everything that I draw is the past, present, future, okay? So that's the connection we have to come into. Our thoughts always have to go forward to its earth. The rotation cycle through this position. You're on the gravity position, the center position of you through calculation, right? All right. So let's say you're a box, okay? Oh, look at that, it disappears really quick, and I'm just right here. This is past, present, but it's in the present, but it's in the simulation. So if I go closer and closer, it's still not there because it's in the simulation. So if I go closer and closer, it's going to come into frame, right? Because it's already drawn through its past, but I'm presenting it to you, to its present, but it disappears into its future. And it high rises its illumination of its body sky to its illumination calculation to its dimensional setting positions, right? But look how powerful it is. That's illumination for my body because I got balance with my alignments of my thoughts. But everything that I channel is inside. That's how you manifest. That's how you meditate. That's how you open up the mind, the transmission light, your perceptions, your audios, and everything through your connections of your voice and your patterns. It's the breathing you have to get into, okay? Now, if you go to TikTok, there's 10 applications I show you that are programmed how to use these connections. You get into the breathing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you breathe. Really get into, A lot of people don't breathe. How important do you think it is to breathe? You have to breathe, because every time you breathe, you're bringing out all that toxic level, all that virus that's inside you. So it's all about centering yourself every single time. So when you breathe in and you breathe out, you feel better. Trust me, you feel better. Don't question why you feel better. Just know you feel better, because basically you're cleansing the vibration. You're cleansing your thoughts. You're bringing yourself to a new division of time, of dimension, and you're feeling better with yourself of connection. Okay? So, yeah, learning to breathe is a miracle, and it channels the positions to higher locations. But you have to understand your 7 positions of your ground positions of your body. My team understands that. They're out of their 12. They're extremely high rise. They're in their 100 chakra rotation centers. Now they're understanding more of their liquid formation light system through calculation, right? So basically, let's all start off with that. Channel location. You can do this, you can do this, okay, or you can do this. You can do whatever you want. Just have an open concept, but don't have your arms or legs or anything crossed, because you're blocking interference, right? So your vibration will not travel. It will just, that's all I do. It won't travel. It won't go anywhere, because you're blocking yourself in, okay? You're combusting yourself in. So this is another thing too, is when you get into those channel positions, I can help you with, that connection. Go to my email, I'll tell you exactly the proper way to breathe. You have to stand your chakra system of breathing, because each time you're breathing different dimensions of time, of space. That's why it's so powerful, because everything is in the mind, the concept, the brain, the cortex, the placebo, the thought recognition time position, okay, is all settled in your line communication of your physical system. Okay, so let's all start off with that. Just getting some meditation, breathing, very basic. We want to channel divisions. We'll go into the gravity system, and then we'll work our way up to the root. Okay, the root, basically, what is the root? It's chakra, and they say it's red. Yes, it's red, but it's all different kinds of red. So when your DNA pattern changes your positions, it's not just red, it's everything through red. So you'll see a red in a different color, but it's still red, but it's not just one color. It's everything through color of red, right? So it's amazing how powerful our root chakra is. It's the balance and security of us, of its root. Where are you in your balance of your life? Where are your balance with your connections of your security? Where is your security levels? Where are your protection levels? That's the root. Okay, so you have to understand your line communications of your chakras first. Okay, so when you get into that, you get into the sacra. What is the sacra? That's the creative. That's the center. That's the artistic. That's the intimate level. You have to understand your chakra system of communication within once you wake up, because it confuses the body system if you don't understand space and time dimensions of you through calculation. Right? And then you come out of the sacral, and then you come into the connection of the solar plex. And the solar plex, everything through its connection comes into the heart. The heart comes into the throat comes into the transmission light. And the light comes into your crown chakra. Right? So think of your whole chakra system is the eye of the lamp. Okay? But see, the line channels of your dimensions of time are different colorations of positions. So when you understand that, you have a light switch. Click. Your light goes on, and your realm connection of your dimension opens up. And then you see the sun, which is purple, right? And then you stand the coloration, and then you come out into your higher self position. But you got to be in your 12 positions, and then you come into the matrix. So it's truly understanding that you're coming into a reality of a shape, okay? And you're changing your positions, and you're trying to come out of the abyss, which is the dark rotation center position of you, calculation. Okay, so you have to get out of that. All right, so let's start off with the connections, yin and yang. Now, first thing you got to do is basically, you don't have to close your eyes. Just get into the breathing techniques. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on how you want to go through connections of counting measures. You want to go in. You want to hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then release. So you got to find your base. And every time you're doing that, you're bringing up the toxic level of your communications with your family, your loved ones. You could be frustrated, you could be feared, you could be stressed. Remember, when you breathe, you're taking everything out. You're taking out your viruses out of your computers, right? So you're channeling higher of dimensions through coloration of time positions, right? But like I said, how many people breathe? I say, I don't need to breathe. I breathe every day. No, you don't breathe every day. If you breathe every day, you'll be getting what you want through manifestation, right? So you're kicking yourself in the head. Truly understand that, okay? I'm a grand master, okay, of meditation. So I formulate on so many levels, master and unified connections, unification or anything in the divisions, synchronizing souls of that location, right? So it's mastering yourself within to understand your divisions. Locations of shapes, locations of shapes, locations of shapes, locations of shapes. Okay, everything's a shape, but you have to understand the positions. Each chakra system is time positions of letters, numbers, and shapes. It clocks its time every single time you change your thoughts, so coloration. Right, it's really fascinating. Okay, so we got into the gravity, right? Just centering positions. Okay, now we're going to go up to the root, right? So we're going to go hold it in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let it out. Every time you do that, you're cleansing your body, and your vibrationals and your signals or everything is channeling better. And the energy is so powerful. I get energetic waves right now through connections, and you guys are feeling that through its force. And then you see the connection of your energy fields, and then your energy cycles and everything through its rotation center system. So we go into calculations. Okay, we got into the gravities, we got into the root. Okay, so it's channeling your position, understanding your research of you through the body. Okay, the anatomy of you through the body. Go to TikTok, I'll tell you exactly what it is. It's a really, really powerful platform. There's 10 positions of time, position of space through time of travel that tells you exactly how to meditate. Okay, so when you come into that, okay, we come into the calculation, right? We go into the sacral. Now, think of yourself creative. Think of yourself artistic. Think of yourself as an illusion. Think of yourself as an illustration. Think of yourself as manifestation. The intimate cycle through connection, better communications with your loved ones, better communications with your family, better communications with your child, better communications with your husband, wives, or anything through boyfriend and girlfriend. Okay, that's the sacral. You have to understand what the chakra system is and what it does for you. Okay, now the power connection is the solar plex. That's the center position of you through travel. So it cores a system, the core system, cross-reference to its position. It's you through location. The power center position of you, okay, is the center position of this earth. The gravity, power, the atmosphere. Okay, now you're just on the cusp of the atmosphere. You're getting connected to your 7 chakra rotation centers, but you're not out of the atmosphere position. Okay, you're just coming into the atmospheres. You're going into a higher level of connection of your forming through intelligence. So you have to understand your 7 waving cycles of you through body frame, and then you get into your 5 positions of its atmospheres. Okay, so you come into the connection of the solar definition of different shapes, anomalies of colors, of energies. You understand it comes into you, right? So I get solar connection line signals that are coming into traction, location, and coloration patterns. Whoa, energy goes in, fluctuates, it understands its dimensional time position. It centers the position to my line signal through my transmission light. This is the travel, this is the realm, this is the thought. This is the coloration. This is the space and time of position of you in center position. You have to understand what the transformation light is. And you know what opens up every time you travel? The Bermuda Triangle. Okay, that's why we have the Bermuda Triangle. A lot of people don't understand what that is. We traveled already through that. Actually, I kind of want to travel again. We'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll go to the Bermuda Triangle. Kelly, you'll be blown away. Okay, you'll be blown away when you see the blue Bermuda Triangle. On connections to light signals, but channel to anything through Operation Center. You can travel to any dimensional time position of space to time positions of the inner system of you through calculation, right? So, yeah, it's really powerful. I'm going to send you guys to the connections, right, to the Bermuda Triangle. Then you understand what it is. You actually see the water. You understand what it is. It's an extremely powerful dimension of time position, but you're all connected to its alignment. You guys have to understand why we have volcanoes. You have to understand why we have mountains. It's all connected to us. It's just that humanity has been so separated from nature. That's the problem, guys. It's all coming back now. Right? Separation, no separation. Right? So think of the Big Bang Theory, which is not. But if you understand the connections, why the atom runs this way, one is this way, and we come to light and dark for the first time. Before we come into humanity, explodes, right? It explodes. Planet positions, all that, right? Well, now it's all coming back. It's all coming back now. Separation, back together. Separation, back together. That's what we're coming into. One unity of light. One consciousness of reality. Right? Two, its connection of its sleeping lines and its positions. Okay? All right, so we get to the solar connection. You breathe in. You want to hold it in, right? Give it 5 seconds. I like to channel positions on locations. I like to hold it in and maybe just bring out a couple breaths. Find different rhythm patterns as you go up the ladder, right? So when you go up the ladder, you're centralizing your connections and you're centering your positions of your chakra through communication, your time position, through structure of lights, or anything through your frame position. So it's very important that you line signal and not have anything off through travel position of its connection, okay? So when you get into that, we come into the connections of the heart. The heart is the portal, all right? So it's a digital frame of view. It's all about understanding that the heart is actually a computer. So the heart itself is generated through portals of dimensions of time. So this is where you come into the alpha, the mega, micro, and the macro. It line signals the channels of 4 operations center, alpha, mega, mega, macro. Okay, now you understand the connections of all 4 before you understand the communications of anything through the gravity, powers, or anything, the atmospheric position of 7. Okay, but when you reach 7, you go into the connections of higher location. You come into the divine, and then you get connection to the country positions of you through traveling positions. Right, you're not into your higher self yet. You're just getting balance with your body framing of 7 rotation center positions. Okay, and then you go up to higher levels when you come into forming systems of 12. Extremely powerful, powerful connection, but it's all connected inside you through communication, through its alignment. Okay, so the traction position level system is allocated to your position of time positions. Okay, the crown chakra understands your coloration of its shape and everything through its holographic system. Then you wake up everything through its anomaly system. Okay, you're coming into the nominations of yourself, right? You're coming into notifications of yourself. Remember, your computer. So if you understand your connections and your archived positions, it's all about you going up to your astral records of time. Imagine that. You're trying to understand more of your soul. That's all it is. You're just trying to understand more of yourself. You're trying to understand the astral records of your library. You're trying to understand your information of you. That's what it's all about. It's trying to remember who you are. And when you remember who you are, and then you know how to travel through time of space, now you're in a better position how to communicate through your intelligence, through its earth system. Okay, the time positions. Okay, so now we come into the calculation. We'll go to the intro, but I'm telling you that once you get into the 7, you have balance that position. You've mastered your body through line of chakra. That's great. Now you work your way up to the 5. Okay. So when you come into that, you come into the solar, and then you come into the galactic, and then you come into the universe. Okay. All right. And then you come into higher formations. Right. You come into the connections of its divine. Okay. So when you come out of that, you come into the connections of the shape of the tesseract, which is you. So you automatically go into a shape right into the connection of the matrix. So you're trying to stick out the lines, matrix communication lines, activation core system, projection of youth, reality system, your dream sets, opposition. So you have to understand what the matrix is of you, because it's the dark soul of you. You understand? That's what the matrix is. But it doesn't mean it's bad. It's just that you're on an old program coming into a new program setting. So you have to understand the matrix of you of shapes, okay, to travel position of space and time position. Okay, so when you come into the connections of the higher self for the very first time looks at you in the matrix, sees you. The physical system through the intelligence sees the intelligence, and the intelligence sees you. If the intelligence doesn't see you, you have to work on your communication of your chakra of travel. Okay, and it's all has to do with breathing. So get into the breathing first. That's why it's very important to breathe. Okay, and there's a lot of people come up to you and say, well, I don't have time to meditate. Well, okay, what are you doing now? You're talking to me, but you don't have time.
You don't have to take 20 minutes, half hour in your day. You can meditate in seconds if you understand your chakra line communication. But where are you in your central lines? Are you in your 7? Or are you in your 3? A lot of people in their 3. That's great. That's great. You're working up to your 3. But what about the other 4? You can't meditate without knowing all 12. Okay? That's a position you have to wake up to. Okay? Now, you can get into the starting process of 7, but that's your body. You're not going into the atmosphere positions of 12. You can't meditate and manifest anything until your 12 chakra rotations are open. Okay? And that's confusing to a lot of people because people meditate when they're at 3 grounds of rotations. You can't manifest or anything that you want. If you know your intelligence has to truly understand the communication of space and time, of divisions, of dimensions, of directions, guys. You're not going to understand your energy. You're not going to understand your equations. You're not going to understand your formulas if you don't understand your E equals MC / velocity. Right? Now, the calculation modification of the Earth is no longer at E equals MC squared. Okay? It's in a higher location of a new formula of a code. And it's calculated and modified through the simulation graph to humanity, which is coming into 0.01 traction. That's the position. That's the time position. Mind telepathy over matter. Okay? So, all right. So, let's see here. I'm just going to back phrase. Yeah, Tina loves my TikTok posts. Yeah, they're very, very informative. They're only a minute, but at least you pick up a lot. The more you get volumes of followers, you get into 3 minutes of time, right? But it's a lot of fun. You know, it's a great platform, and you learn a lot too. And you see a lot from other people because they're going through different emotions each day, right? They're going through this, they're going through that. You learn a lot. It's all about we getting connected with everybody to come back as a unity of consciousness, a 5D conscious level of surrender, guys, of its abundance. Okay, that's what we're coming into, right? So each day gets better and better, right? That is thought of recognition of time position, and you're bringing yourself forward, not thinking anymore about the past. You don't say each day is getting worse. Why? What made you say that? Why? Because now you're changing your vibration, you're changing your time position of space, you're changing your clocking dimensions, and you're changing your sentient view of how you see yourself through perception of its reality connection to its dream set position. So be cautious in what you say through your thoughts, especially when you wake up through me. It's your thoughts that recognize you, space and time position of your intelligence, right? So you're not upsetting your physical system, you're upsetting the intelligence system. That's not what you want to do either, right? Because it's always going to go through reaction. And that's why people get headaches, because you're not paying attention to what's happening within yourself, right? It's all about you understanding the inside of you. That's the intelligence, right? So you know you're in the physical system. I keep saying that, but truly understand how to communicate with inside. That's the answer. You can answer any question you want. You just have to understand more of yourself. You have a higher form of light that's ready to travel, okay? That's ready to understand more of what the soul is. A lot of people don't identify their soul. That's why they can't identify themselves. That's why they have problems in relationships. That's why they choose the wrong relationship, because they can't identify themselves within first. That's the problem with people. Okay, and that's why there's so many divorces. Okay, you don't just get married because you want to get married. You want to feel safe and comfortable. That doesn't make any sense. You get married because you love this person. You get married because you can't breathe without this person. Okay, you get married because you feel involvement with this person. You get married because you love this person inside and out. Okay, it doesn't have to be the twin flame. It just has to be a connection to you through communication, because you understand your countermeasures between male and female, right? Through its relation. All right. So So questions and comments are great. It's important you understand that more, because the more we wake up, the more we see the reality of who we are. And everything outside just basically disappears in front of you. And then you just concentrate more on yourself, right? That's why we're put in positions of isolation, is just trying to understand our individual system through calculation. Okay, there's no right or wrong in this equation here. Okay, it's all about humanity understanding more of nature. It's all about understanding more of what space and time is of you. I'm not talking about space and time of the universe. I'm just talking about space and time of you. How I want this, how I want that. You know, people are complaining more and more and more and more what's happening, instead of complaining what's happening with them. That position alone, that doesn't help, does it? It doesn't help, it makes it worse. So channel yourself within and communicate with your system more and more each day with your breathing. Breathing is number one, okay? So, yeah, I'm just going through your questions right now, so it's great to see you guys have questions. Don't be afraid, because see, you're afraid your intelligence isn't awake yet. It doesn't want to wake up. I'm not ready. I'm not ready. Well, when are you going to be ready? When is there never a time for you not to be ready? Those are excuses. It's like, I don't have the excuse anymore. I don't want to work out anymore. Why? So don't put your positions in questions, to put your positions in answers. That's how we come into the equations, right? So it's all about understanding more of our galactic self, how we're connected to all levels of dimensional being. Imagine that, right? And having anything that we want. But you have to understand your communications are within the chakra, okay? So it's Sunday. I usually go 20 minutes, a half an hour. Usually I spend time with Amelia. But other than that, I want you guys to channel your positions better through connection. Try to understand more of your connections to your travel locations, and we'll get into more of the breathing. I think breathing is very important. Breathing is everything through travel of thought. It puts you in a better position of time, position of space, and coloration and lights. So your intelligence has to truly understand that, you know, listen up, you got to breathe. If you don't breathe, how are you supposed to travel through thoughts of space and time positions? Right? So it's telling you what to do. And it's a little voice that goes in your inner line connection. You know, it's a graphing position, it's a gamma operation vibration, and it's connected to you, and it's telling you something. So it's really listening, having silence within yourself. You have to have silence. That's peace. You have to have peace within your thoughts. You have to have peace within your travel, your thoughts. You have to have peace within space of your thoughts. That's what we're connected to, right? And humanity has to get into that position so they can communicate better with each other and its community and its humanitarian system. Okay, so, and I love you guys very much. Take it easy. Adios.